Hey, so this video is about how we help the growth partners that is owned by Jordan Lee and Jacob Levine, how we help them make $161,000 in upsells and $295,000 total cash collected within 90 days, launching a school community from scratch. Now, here's a quick video of Jordan talking.
Kiri's been fantastic. He's helped us a lot. He's worked with my team directly, multiple people within our team to really guide us on primary focus that we should be focused on when launching school, putting all of our knowledge and expertise in a way of where people like to receive the information, how they like to receive the information. So yeah, we've worked well with Kiri over the last couple of months to do that, and he's been great to work with. He's a great guy.
Hey, so this is the $290,000 customer success framework that we use to add an enormous amount of money to our clients' businesses. And this is how we specifically added 300K to the Growth Partners business in less than 90 days. And the coolest part about that is $150,000 of that was actually without acquiring a single new customer and came right from the back end of the business, which was essentially upsells and it's pure profit. This is a step by step blueprint that you can copy today and take to your business, whether you're a coach, consultant, course creator, any type of business where you sell education or info. This is what you can use to upsell. The brutal truth is, you don't have a traffic problem. I mean, if you do have a traffic problem while you're watching this video, go and get better traffic. But generally, you don't have a lead problem either. What I see is most people in the coaching and info space, they have a lot of traffic and they have a lot of leads. Even if they don't think they do, they actually have enough. What they really have is a delivery problem. Now, I've worked with over 20,000 customers in my agency, and I can tell you categorically that there are dozens of businesses in this industry who work their absolute arse off and they try so hard for client acquisition. Like 90% of their effort, rightly or wrongly, and I think rightly to be honest with you, does go into getting new clients because that is how business operates. However, they drop the ball as soon as they get a new client, and that is the brutal truth, and that is why they can be struggling every single month just to keep the lights on because as soon as they get a client, like a leaky bucket, the person just leaves. And people don't really talk about this enough. And that is what my channel exists to help you solve. So these are like the consequences of that. 30% of your clients may get, it might within the first week refund or do a chargeback because they didn't get the result or because they just hate the experience. You get 0% revenue, extra revenue, or extra, so 0 times the extra revenue from a client because they don't stick around. They're not gonna look at these guys above, right? 150K in 90 days. You're not gonna get that if the client doesn't like your product, and you're not gonna get any referrals because customers just aren't happy with you. And like, let me tell you this: if you want like product-led growth, which is like absolute explosive exponential growth that you don't have to pay for, that comes via having a good product and having good delivery and not having a good, not just good marketing. Good marketing is like, yes, it will catapult you to get to like 7, 8 figures, but having a good product is the thing that really drives exponential growth because you acquire one customer, they become two because they refer you 2 people. Those two will then refer 3 people, or they will refer 2 people each, and then it just spawns infinite customers through air basically. That doesn't happen unless your execution and your delivery is 10 out of 10. So the maths doesn't lie. I'm gonna quickly illustrate this with a low ticket product. So not low ticket, but I mean in my eyes, $2,000 is way cheaper than my front end, the front end for most of my clients. But let's say you have 100 customers at $2,000 each, which again in today's industry in the info market, that is not a high number. The average client of mine, their front end product is $6,800. With 30% churn, you're losing $60,000 in revenue. Each customer could be worth 3 to 5 times this number on the back end. That is again another 3 to 600K a year you're losing. And at 2 to 3 referrals, 2.3 referrals per customer, you're losing again nearly 500K, because you're losing 230 customers out of these 100. Because if they refer you 2 people each, which is that is actually quite a big statement. You're probably not going to get that. You're probably going to get 1 to 1, or like for your. Although saying that, Hermosi used to have a referral, one client, I believe. I watched a video once, and he had a client. One person referred him over $1 million in business. So you're only one person to give you outsized returns on referrals. But anyways, say you have 100 customers and 2,000 each with 30% churn rate. That's another $1 million you're leaving on the table just from 100 customers because you're losing revenue and churn. You're not doing anything on the back end and you're getting 0 referrals. So each customer, if they really love you, can probably find you 2.3 people they know. And they that any of these numbers. So churn loses your money, back end loses your money, and referrals lose your money. You're literally losing $1 million out of from a $2,000 sale because your product isn't good enough, and that is maths. Like you don't have to, you can disagree with me or not, but that is like maths. So your product is really important, and that is exponential growth. So I want to leave that with you for now. Let's continue the video. And most people do, if they try their hard enough, if they try hard for like 2 or 3 years to market and sell, they will get 100 customers. They will get 100 customers. But you get $1 million afterwards? Probably not. It's probably because your sales is great, your marketing is okay, but your product sucks, basically. The 4-step framework. So here's exactly what you need to do to improve your marketing so you can gain $1 million from 100 customers. Map the user journey. And by the way, quickly, I want to go back. This was 50-50. They 300K in 90 days, 150K was on the front end, 150K was on the back end. Just internalize that. Like that was literally identical. So that means the numbers I'm showing here aren't like crazy numbers. Like they literally got 100. Like imagine 100 customers here, literally just doubled the revenue again on the back end. So it's like I see this play out all the time. And the reason that you might be looking at these numbers and thinking, oh, this doesn't sound realistic, it's just because you've never seen a good product. Like when you see good products that have exponential growth, your entire worldview will change, and you'll be like, "Oh my god!" Like I have clients who always. So I'm like going on a tangent, but I have clients of mine who are like me. They get their first whiff of like back end revenue, and they're like, "Oh my god, I don't even care about the front end anymore. Let's just make the back end perfect because our front end is $4,000, and we just sold someone a $25,000 package like on the back end. So it's just like they are worth 5 times more if you do it correctly. So, anyways, sorry about the one. Let's continue. So the first thing you have to do is map the user journey. So you can't fix what you don't measure. Okay? You can't fix what you don't measure. Most education businesses have no idea where clients are falling off. And it doesn't matter how well you think your gut feeling is or your intuition or like how much you trust your staff or whatever. If you don't measure it, it doesn't exist. So here's exactly what to map. Every touch point from sale to completion, danger zones where students typically quit, and this one kind of is, you can't really do this without having the user journey map though. Key milestones that indicate success, and critical ups opportunities based on progress. So this one is like, imagine you on a coaching program where it shows people how to get to 10K a month, and the first milestone is they have to set up their cold email system or their automated LinkedIn system, or they have to create an ad account or something. You need to have these structured out. So, all right, in the first 2 weeks, they're going to create their cold email system. And then in week 3, they're going to have their scripts written. And then week 4, they're going to start reaching out to people. And then week 5, if they've done all of that, they should be starting to get not inbound leads. They should be starting to get positive responses based on their cold emails. These are all milestones that need to happen. And over time and with iteration, you're going to see where things are starting to go wrong and where things are going right. And that the going right part is the ups opportunities, by the way. But you just need to have everything here mapped out. Like the journey has to be very granular and very obvious for you and your team to be able to see where clients are falling off. You need to be able to see between week 3 and week 4, you're getting the most chargebacks and the most clients just not, partaking anymore because they're confused, and you can improve the product. So mapping out the user journey, this is what I do when I work with a client of mine. The first thing we do is map out your user journey. And like, that's literally the first thing we do because nothing else matters other than that, to be honest. Next thing is you implement the customer success machines. Your job is to deliver results and not field support tickets. Most founders that I see and people who work, again, my clients, I work with lots of clients in this industry, they waste 30 plus hours a week on $15 an hour tasks. Like their CEO was making like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $10 million a year, but they're doing silly tasks that an admin should be doing. Or like a CSM, a customer success manager, should be doing because they've never delegated out, and that they are the single big bottleneck in the business. Now, this is where most founders waste their time, taking endless one-to-one onboarding calls. If you're making more than $30,000 a month, you should never take an onboarding call ever again in your life. They answer the same questions repeatedly. I see so many founders answering, how do I set up my cold email software? How do I answer this question? How do I answer that question? Mindless stuff that just waste your time. Chasing down missed payments manually. That is a $15 an hour tasks. Like that is maybe even less than putting up fires because students are stuck. All of this, if you're making over 30K a month, you should never do. It should be a red line for you that you need to delegate this out now. Waste of your time. And frankly, if you're doing this, you don't want to get to 100K a month. You don't want to get to 200K a month. It's just the biggest thing. Like I recently had a client who done 100K day, so $100,000 in one day. They didn't take a single onboarding. Do you think they could have done 100K in one day if they were taking the onboardings? And then done another webinar about just a few days, a week or so later. I think it was a 60K day, just bam, straight money. They didn't take a single onboarding. And you're not going to hit the revenue figures you want to hit if you're stuck in a day-to-day, if you're stuck in a day-to-day of the business. The solution: build a systematic onboarding process. And my systematic onboarding process is staff driven, not some automated like AI shit. No, it's staff doing the onboardings for you. Okay. Create proactive touch points at critical milestones. So my CSMs are high and put into businesses. So customer success managers, they reach out at critical milestones to the students to understand what's happening. Okay. You shouldn't be doing that as a founder. Establish career success for every student. You should know what makes a student successful. Like it should be like a conveyor belt of students where it's just like very productized, very systematized. It's very easy to manage. And implement early warning systems that someone is going to churn. I had a sales call with someone recently. They do about lots, like 7 figures a month. Very, 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 very successful entrepreneur. They didn't really have any of this, and it's like they were telling me this, and I was like, wow, like the info industry is so new and so like even though you think it's been around for a while, it hasn't. Like this is very standard in the software service, but in the info space, this isn't new at all. So if you do any of this stuff, guys, you're gonna have a competitive advantage that most of your competitors just do not have. So I would encourage you to watch this video and take notes, or just book a call to talk to me. But like this is what you need to be doing, and if you're not doing this, and your competitors eventually start doing this, you're gonna be left behind. Deploy customer tracking systems. So you can't improve what you don't track. Most education businesses have no idea what's happening to their customers. They just don't. Engagement tracking for every student, so you need to see who's active and disengaged. Engagement rates is one of the strongest ways to upsell people and to prevent churn. If you just don't know who's like active and you don't know who's disengaged in your program, how do you ever expect to scale this thing for your product? Product usage is like, in my opinion, probably the top three, probably the top one actually, attribute to tell if your product's good or not. If they're just not using your product, it's bad. Who buys something unless you're black paying for Netflix and don't use it? It's terrible. Milestone completion rates, who's making progress, sentiment analysis. So who's happy and who's frustrated? How are you like measuring that? Do you have like green, amber, red check lights in your system? Like that's what we use. Like we need to know how the student's feeling. And then payment tracking. Do you know how much money people lose because they just don't measure their payments and track their payments properly? That's what we do for our clients now. We make sure that if their clients aren't paying, we have a system so my team can go and recover the revenue. Such a nice system. This allows us to identify at-risk students before they churned, pinpoint where they're going to get stuck. This is 12%, it's actually higher, but it recover lost revenue from failed payments and save the founder 40 hours every single week. So 30 to 40 hours every single week. And that's essentially a full-time job that these founders are doing on top of marketing and sales. They also do 40 hours of delivery. It's absurd, and you need to get out of that as soon as possible. Now you have to do the cool part, build the backend revenue machine. So backend revenue is 100% profit, and there's zero acquisition costs. No new trust needs to be built, and it's pure profit. I'm going to go all the way to the top quickly and just like reiterate this to you. 290K, 150K of that was no new customers. That means it was pure profit, more or less. Like really internalize that back-end revenue and upsells is just pure profit. You need to be hyper obsessed with trying to get your product perfect. So let's go back down to this. So with tracker system in place, generally all our clients, we get milestone-based upselling. So we offer advanced solutions at moments of success. So that essentially means what is the next logical point where someone is ready to upsell, and we know exactly when all my clients, we know exactly when that's going to happen, and we attack them with we pitch the upsell as soon as we know the student is susceptible to the upsell. Strategic testimonial collection. We know that there's some points where it's not good to ask for testimonial, and other points where it's absolutely a no-brainer to ask for testimonial. We do that. Referral activations. We turn happy customers into an acquisition channel for our clients. Absolutely major. And payment optimization. Again, one thing I noticed is you can convert payment plans to pay in full for instant cash flow. I had one client where, this is going to sound crazy to some of you info guys listening to this who are doing quite a lot of money. Their client, they didn't recoup the entire cost of the client until 23 months later. So they signed like a payment plan thing where it took 23 months of monthly payments to get the full amount of the client. We got our CSMs to then do a paid in full thing, and we switched it saying, hey, if you actually pay the 23 months up front now, you will get a 10% discount, but we recoup all of the money now, instant cash flow. That is what we just done with them. They got so much money. I have another client of mine doing about 130K a month, and their average term was between 2 and 3 months. So what we did was, we know people are going to, right now, people are leaving between 2 and 3 months, which is bad, and we're going to fix that, but this is like what we just started. So what we're going to do is, what if we're going to go to the client and say, hey, by the way, what if you paid in full for the next 6 months and get a 10% discount? They right now they're leaving after 3 months. So if they pay for 6 months to get a 10% discount, we're still collecting more money up front. So payment optimization is something I don't really see anyone talking about in this industry. Massive one here for you to understand. This alone should be an entire YouTube video, to be honest with you. Now, this is one of my quotes. So most businesses are sitting on a gold mine of untapped revenue. You just need the right systems to extract this revenue. That you should probably screenshot this and put this as the background of your desktop app, because like this is such a true statement, and I believe the info industry is going to move to in the next like 3 to 5 years. Everyone is going to be doing this, so you need to get ahead of it. So the bottom line is your existing customers are worth 10 times more than new ones. Let me just say something to you. The average client of mine has a $6.8 thousand front end. Back end, we sell $20,000 to $25,000 upsells. Ridiculous amount of money you can make. So your action steps, okay? Map out your entire customer journey from purchase to completion. Identify 3 critical drop-off points where customers are usually disengaging. Create a tracking system for the 2 to 3 most important customer success metrics. These are probably product usage, how quickly they're achieving the first milestone, and how often they're speaking to your success team. Define a clear process for milestone-based upselling. So you need to understand what milestones correlate to the most success or the first big win. So say again, if it's a cold email system, and then you're selling cold email lead generation or something, maybe it could be when they close their first client, or it could be if they get inundated with loads of leads and they get a massive pipeline, like $1 million pipeline generated for them. Try and get a case study right there and then. You need to know when the best time to do the case study is, and you can't do that without data. Implement strategic testimonial collection services. So you need to systemize the testimonial collections. You're like, okay, cool. Tom and Jerry and Stephen just hit here and here in their customer journey. That means they are now ready for an upsell chat, or they're now ready for a testimonial collection. Make that system. Don't just rely on goodwill of them offering it, or don't just rely on luck. Basically, make it a system. Implement these 5. Implement one of these components and you'll see immediate results. This first one you need to implement if you want an info product, and you're not going to go away and do this straight away. You don't like money. So, and here are 5 principles I've noticed from managing over 20,000 students. So, customer success is a profit center and not a cost center. Most people think that customer success costs you money. Oh, I've got to hire staff, or I've got to hire Kiwi's agency to do it for me. I've got to hire any of these things. No, it makes you money. Customer success is not like, it isn't a profit loser. It makes you money. Most businesses treat it as like a necessary evil, where in reality it is a profit driver. A 5% increase in customer retention can increase your profits by 29 to 95% when you bake in referrals and upsells. Like, you can make so much more money with customer success. You need to flip it. You need to treat customer success as a profit maker and not a cost center. Your time is worth $1,000 an hour, not 15,000. So your time is worth $1,000 an hour, not $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Every hour you spend in customer service is an hour not spent on growing your business. And this is not an opportunity. This isn't just like an opportunity cost. It's straight suicide. If you're spending 30 hours a month, so 30 hours a week rather, on like $15 an hour tasks, what are you doing? How do you expect your business to grow? That is another thing I've noticed, that like after managing so many clients' businesses, see thousands of their students, I just see these founders, the reason they're stuck in their day-to-day is because they just doing the menial tasks. So customer results drive everything. This might sound silly, but the best predictor of retention, upsells, referrals, and testimonials is, drumroll, customer results. That's it. You get more positive testimonials, increased referrals, and increase in conversion rates. It's really hard, but you can do it to upsell people who haven't got a result. You can do it though, but it's hard. And it's very hard to get referrals from people who haven't got results. Again, you can do all of this. You can actually get testimonials from people who haven't got results. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can. I've seen it. But it's easier if they get a result. Okay? So try to get the results. Fundamentally, customer success. Think about the words. Customer success. They succeed. People keep talking about customer experience and customer this, that, and that. At the end of the day, success means they get success. So that is what you have to worry about. Systemize or die. Ad hoc support tasks always break at scale, and there's no exceptions to that. Many of our clients go from manually managing dozens and hundreds of customers to systematically supporting hundreds without additional headcount. And that's because if you rely on people, Like, as in, like, if you allow founder driven support, it's going to break because you're one person doing 1,000 tasks. You need to have a system in place to cover your ass, essentially. And data beats intuition every single time. Your gut feeling about where customers struggle is wrong, and I can guarantee it's wrong every single time. It's wrong because it's not a raw gut feeling. It's based on like you are stressed, you're spinning 1,000 plates all at once, and you think your gut is right, but in reality, your gut doesn't know what to do because it's doing marketing, it's doing sales, it's marketing again, and then sales again, and then customer delivery, and then no, someone's gonna charge back. Oh no, someone's gonna churn. There's 100 things going wrong, so your gut is all over the place. That's why you have to rely on data, and that's where your team can give you that data to then make informed decisions. So again, we're just gonna go over this again. Critical components of the $290,000 framework, or just our customer success framework. This is how we helped, Jacob and Jordan make that money. You value the journey map. I worked with Jacob and Jordan's team directly to actually map out the entire student journey of the product we were making, documented every single touch point from purchase to completion, and identified where the students were getting the maximum amount of value. Success milestones. We defined clear and measurable progress that told us that a student is going to be on track. And we knew if they weren't going to be on track, and we could do some intervention to stop them from churning or refunding. Engagement tracking. We monitored who's active and who's disengaged with specific metrics to predict churn before it happens. I know when someone's going to churn in your program because I track everything. Our data is flawless. Strength, strategic touch points. We create a system of automated and human interaction at critical moments in the student's journey. If you have these touch points, the chances of them using your product go up and the chances of them actually leaving go down. And I say automated and human. I like human more because people are getting sick of the automated stuff, in my opinion. But automated works too. Upsell triggers. Now, this one follows the standard logical progression rule, I say. So, generally, a student pays for number A. So, they pay for like the result A. Now, they're ready for an upsell when they've either achieved result A or they're about to achieve result A. And now they need to go to result B. That is when you upsell them. And you only know that if you have the value, the journey mapped out. Next, I'm not going to go over again, is testimonial collection. Just make sure you know how to collect the testimonials. And then number 7 is payment optimization. How can you get people to pay in full as much as possible to get instant cash flow into the business? You need the cash flow for the business to continue growing, okay? And it's nice to have that instant payouts in the business. And then again, referral activation. You need a way to systematize referrals. If you don't do that, you're always going to be relying on marketing and sales to grow your business and not product.